What's good? Oh, we're just jumping into it. I'm here with Elliot, the only other One Piece
Yo,
OG that you should be listening to on this app.
yo, yo.
Oh, okay, now I hear you.
Fucking truck shit.
I just wish I wish YouTube allowed for what we were talking about before this, because I would have posted that shit so quick.
Oh, I mean, there's a lot of side conversations that could be posted, but we're not gonna get into that.
So anyway, both of the chapters, because I missed the last one purposefully to keep that two chapter review going. You know what I'm saying? Totally not because I thought we weren't on break week.
Yeah, you so thought that. You can hide it. It's nice.
Here's the thing, I forgot that Japanese holidays were a thing too, and it doesn't say no break.
Yeah, I forgot about that too. Not no lie. Like, I remember when I was looking on my group chat, so like, oh, there's no chapter. I was like, fuck. I thought about it. I was like, clear. Okay, some shit.
Yeah, fucking holidays.
And they
Um,
got golden
Golden
in
Week.
week and shit where they stop production and shit. All right, we're getting such ADHD is kicking in.
Oh,
That's what.
fair warning for whoever's listening. This is gonna happen a lot. It's the most
We,
One Piece discussion of all
all right,
time. We're gonna start talking about Stussy, and then it's gonna tail into why Bartolomeo is really Oda incarnate.
what? Okay, we'll get to that.
Croc is Luffy's mom, and the One Piece is actually hieroglyphs that explain who Oda is to the people of One Piece. It breaks the fourth wall, and then the story ends.
I would slap. I would definitely slap somebody. Somebody got kicked.
All right. Anyway, 1073. Let's start with that. Go. Okay.
I like how the chapter opens up with like a very '70s like kind of message in a way. I don't know if you peeped that.
I actually didn't, so please get into that. I didn't peep that at all.
Because if you peep one, it looks like everybody's high as shit. Like, well, at least fucking okay.
Oh, you're talking about
And at
the
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 same
cover spread.
time, it looks like there's a war going on.
Yo, you were
Yeah,
cutting
yeah,
out
yeah. And then
decent.
it looks like everybody's shooting like flowers and shit.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
their like, I'm cutting out. I'm back.
You
I'm
were.
back 100%.
Yeah. Now you're back. Now you're clear.
Okay, so no, I was saying like with the background and everything, it looks like there's a war going on, but it kind of fits that old like saying,
Yeah, that
make
60s,
love not
70s.
war.
Yeah, that 60s,
Like
70s.
they
Bro, you know what we
say
don't talk about?
war.
The summer of 69
Mm.
is like that generation's summer 16. So like that's Oda's summer 16. He probably like loves it.
I didn't think about that actually, like the way you put that together.
But yo, okay, as
Like,
a
yeah,
mangaka yourself, right? Like as an artist, how do you feel about Oda's paneling? Like the last, I would say, 10 chapters, or this arc, bro? I feel like he's making it really hard for the animators to animate this like one for one.
nah, I think he's actually making it easier. So with the paneling question, he's been to me making everything more cinematic. So like for example, the biggest example would be when the giraffe buddy came out of nowhere. He was flying at Zoro as Zoro was sleeping.
Yeah.
If you peep the panel, it goes from the attack to Zoro's
Oh, he for
to
sure.
his perspective.
He's
So
for
like
sure adapted.
to a camera before, yeah, like before Zoro. So you see Zoro wake up, unhinge his sword or unsleeve his sword, and then make the move. And it's like little details like that. You show his way of thinking where the camera is, and him thinking about the camera more is making the paneling like a lot cinematic.
Yeah, like my whole thing is he's for sure adapted since they were like, "Hey, fuck the DBZ editors who ruin everything. I want my own for Wano," and they've just kind of like kept it through. He really has been like filling in the blanks with the pages cuz he trusts them more. I do see that a lot. I just mean like with the detail that he's going into in the paneling. I don't know how they're going to match it one for one if they don't just pull out all the stops with Toei like they have been with Wano. I hope it's consistent, but to me it feels like, oh, this is a big arc. We're just doing this until Gear 5th, and then it's gonna tail down. I don't see that like One Piece could keep up that animation because it's a year long. Like it doesn't stop. There's no break. It's always going.
Well,
So
at the same time, I feel like they did for Roof Piece, like
yeah,
specific, because of how like monumental Roof Piece is. Like from start of it to the end of it, like, that shit was impactful, and not only impactful, it took a lot of visual. You were gonna have to sit there and fucking be high def with the fucking attacks and things. So it was different.
I'm so sad we can't tell new readers welcome to Wano anymore. I'm actually very
I
sad.
know,
It
right?
was such a community
I
building thing. Like, welcome to Wano. You're here. Congrats. You've ascended.
did. Or yeah, at the end of Wano, like at all costs, like
Yeah.
missed that meme. No
Ah,
longer accurate.
fuck, man. But back to the chapter. Back to the chapter and like the paneling and stuff. Like, I don't know if you remember or you have it pulled up the Lucci, like immediately Lucci trying to like what's it called? Is it that heartbreak image thing? He tried to hit the heartbreak image, right? Of Stussy, and it ended up being a clone. It already
Yeah, because
looks,
Kaku as well.
yeah. It looks like Lucci is it looks like he's drawn there, like he's popping out the page. Oda's drawing like it's pre-time skip again. Like, hey, I have animators for a reason. I'm just gonna put across the action that I want to tell. And like Oda with less of a task and less stress is always better for the story and for the fucking art. I think for like layman. I don't know how like an artist I sees it, but for me at least, I see it as an amazing thing because Oda, instead of having to worry about like, oh great, now I have to dumb it down for this, this, and this. Now he's not worrying, and he's just like, okay, I can tell what I want to in between the lines. My fans are smart enough, but I'm gonna make it so that it's a congruent story. You can correct me if I'm wrong or if you don't feel that way.
Nah, I mean, for me, it's a little bit different because, like, for me, like, I am my editor, my like translator, I am this a
Hmm.
little bit. So for me, would I love to have everything off my plate? Hell, the fuck yeah! That way I could just work on, just the art of it. Yeah, of course. So I can see that perspective where it's like if Oda doesn't have to worry, or if he doesn't have to micromanage, then yeah, I'm golden. I could just come in and y'all got me. But if I gotta micromanage and be on top of my own crap, like yeah, come on, we're gonna take forever and things are gonna slack a bit. So I do see that.
And his creativity's through the roof right now. Like dog, again keeping the order. I'm trying to keep in order at 1073, but we could jump if you want. But like, okay, immediately after the clone breaks, right?
Before you jump,
Okay,
I'm
okay.
gonna actually make like that. Before you jump, if you peep this panel, this first page, excuse me,
Hmm.
and the second page alone kind of feed into like Oda's being a little more cinematic with it. Because if you peep, all right,
Yeah,
Kaku
panoramic.
falls,
We get a panoramic, then we
see,
get block, 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 and then attack. There's so much in between that.
not even that, not even that peep, because it goes from Kaku to Luffy, it goes to Stussy, and then Stussy makes her move, right? And then you see her, like you said, at the page kind of. But then the second page opens with her cracking her fucking mascara. Sorry, girls. I'm sorry.
Lipstick.
The lips.
Bro, that's what I was getting
But
to. That's what I was about to say if you don't mind me interrupting. Like, how creative is that? Of
like,
course she has Sea Prison lipstick because it won't affect her and she could just down whoever and then take their essence, basically. Like, that's so
yeah,
creative. I would never have thought, like, oh, of course she has Sea Prism Stone in her lipstick. But once it's on the page, you're like, of course! Like, it only makes sense to have that.
that, and it also like is dope the way it's paneled because it's like boom, and then from there it's like he doesn't peep it. Then you see his like eye, like the close up on his eyes and things like that. Like I said, it really points out to Oda paying attention to where the camera is
Yeah,
and
whereas.
how
Oh,
to
go
like
ahead.
certain things. Because it could have just been a full shot of her
A
like
whole cake
you
version.
know
It would have been Here's the panel of him looking. Here's the panel of the
Yeah,
lipstick being opened up. Here's the panel of her jumping. Here's the panel of Lucci turning around. Here's the panel of him getting grabbed. Here's the panel of him getting stabbed, and that's it. Bro, that's 2 pages. That's already 2 pages. One thing has happened.
exactly. Like here, you could see the cinematic feel to the manga. But go ahead, take your lead.
Bruh. I mean, I just love how I here's my problem when I talk about Zoro on YouTube. I try to not be biased, but he's been written so brilliantly. He's literally been written like a co-main character, like Killua and Gon are written as co-mains. He's been written like the second main character. He's like the prototypical like protagonist right now, and he's only not because this is Luffy's story and how Oda likes to write somebody, right? And I love it. I love that he spun like even back then, right? What was it, 97? Back in 97, Oda's spinning a trope on its head, and the serious guy is actually the lackey, like the cool badass is the lackey. But lately, I feel like he's been getting so much love, and I don't want to sound biased, but like everybody's different post Wano, dude. Everybody, Sanji, Zoro, even Brook, Jinbei, like I would say
Yeah, they're
those,
all thugs now.
yeah, like they don't even have to be bothered by other shit. And if somebody else comes in, they're not even worried about that threat. They're like, okay, good, you took out my, like think about how calm Zoro was, and it's just a 2 word line, friendly fire, huh? Or 3 words, right? Because you add the huh. Friendly fire, huh? That's it. No stress, no. Oh, what's going on, bro? No fear, just cool, calm, and collected. Doesn't give a fuck. And Brook too. Brook's just chilling up there, like, oh, okay. 2CP0 men are down. Not worried that somebody just took down 2 threats immediately.
Yeah, no, we're not worried. Like there's no pressure on the Straw Hats anymore. Like we just took down Kaido, but
No, now it's the
there's
journey.
nothing left for us but the one. No, I think for them they realized like remember Zoro talking to Sanji. He's like, yo, once we knock these like people out at the end of the day, there's nothing left.
Yeah,
There's nothing left but the One Piece. Our captain will be that much closer. And I think at this point they realize it like, yo, who else is gonna press us?
yeah.
The world government, we ain't worried about them. As you can see, the world government is pulling up. And
Bro,
before
you
that,
want to get to that? You want to get to that after you're done with this sentence? You want to get to the government?
before we get to that, I want to point out how I think it's funny as hell how Lucci's pigeon it reacts to him getting bit. Like, I
Yes,
think
bro.
that is hilarious. Oda's way of drawing like the background characters is freaking hilarious.
And they matter. That's what I
Oh.
love, that it matters. The reactions matter. He makes sure that the animators animate things properly in the background because to him, it is a world. Like, he wants it to be as realistic as possible. It's
It's
just so
dope, too,
funny.
'cause if you see like the Instagram edits of them like zooming in on the characters, like
Yeah.
it's freaking hilarious. Like you may have missed some stuff.
Bro, his detailing is
But
just
that
another level. Another level. Like, I really feel like we've just been on a wave of perfect.
thing,
You're cutting out bad.
Stusty's, I was saying like, can you hear me?
Now I can.
I was saying it. Look at Stusty's like fang bite alone, like,
Hold, let me
the
go.
way he
Let me
drew
go
her
pull that up.
and everything.
Okay, the
His
fang bite.
detailing, it's on chapter 2,
Yeah, page
page
2.
2.
Dog.
Yeah.
Yo, is the pigeon just a gag or is it something?
I don't know. I think it's a gag. I don't know. Maybe it's a thing. I don't know. I think
I
it's a
hope
gag.
it's just a gag. I hope. I don't want it to be something. I've seen a lot of that shit now because you know anytime Lucci pops up, there's Lucci theories, new ones, and people are just trying to say things. I don't want it to be a gag. Or I don't want it to be a thing. I want it to be a gag. You feel me? But
I do.
I okay. Now that I'm caught up with the pages, and I really like, we don't have to talk about the fucking mole thing. It's really quick. Yeah, obviously there's a mole. We know who it is. It doesn't need explaining. But one thing I want to talk about before we get into the fight, that's all I'm going to say because that's really what this chapter was about, the fight, and everybody involved around the fight. But I'm kind of disappointed, and I hope we get it soon, like when we get to Elbath. I'm disappointed in post time skip Usopp after Dressrosa. I thought that was going to be the leap, right? The second.
He's doing it on purpose.
I
I've
think
said
so
this to
too.
multiple people because like he didn't use him that much in Wano. He didn't use him that much on Zao.
And when
Like
he, let's talk about him on Wano too, because every time Usopp showed up, the problem was handled. The problem was solved.
yeah, but I think Usopp's gonna pop in Elbath. That's gonna be his honestly. And I think the two spotlights in coming time is gonna be like you said, like how you feel Zoro is getting a lot of attention. It's most likely Zoro and Usopp are gonna get a lot of attention due to the fact that we he skipped Zoro's backstory
Yeah.
in Wano. Like he even said it, you know, like oh I rushed to Wano at the end of whatever. And I was gonna give you guys the Zoro backstory, but I felt like it got handled. You guys don't understand it. Blah, blah, blah. Although it's like, dude, I really want that in detail. Can I have that in detail?
I just want to know why he has
But
so many similarities. Well, obviously the Ryuma thing in real life, the real life explanation is he had a main character in his one shot monsters. He split it between Luffy and Zoro. Zoro got all the Bushido aspects of Ryuma. Luffy got the main character and the personality of Ryuma, and that's where it's split up in Romance Dawn, right? That's the real life explanation. I want to know why in One Piece, canonically, because Ryuma exists in One Piece, why him and Shikamaru, or not Shikamaru, fucking Naruto, what is it? The blue haired
I lost
swordsman.
it.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. So I want to know why Ryuma and the blue, I forgot his name, something with a SH, um, with, with, um, with Zoro, why didn't we get an explanation on why they're so similar, like looks and battle style? It's not learned, right? It's instinctual. So why is that?
Yeah, I
Is he
mean,
a Shimosuki?
yeah, it's most likely he's part of the like the family line and shit. Like that's most likely his great grandfather and shit. It's just where it'd be nice to confirm that. Like
Yeah,
Zoro is most from Wano,
yeah.
originated and everything. Like his line probably does come from Wano. Um, but before we get sidetracked, because the ADHD is kicking in, and I could go into that detail.
Bro, feel free.
But I
That's the
guess
point of the review, right? Like we're not discussing only the chapter we're reviewing. You're good. You're good to tail off.
well, with that, um, it's it's just interesting because I want to get back to the Usopp thing, but when it comes to Zoro or whatever, his backstory is gonna open up a lot of things. Like it's gonna open up, hopefully, the eye thing. Like the reason why he's also holding back his eye. There's a lot.
That's
There's
another
a
thing.
lot.
Okay, that's one thing I don't want to tail off on because we could talk about that for hours. But what the fuck?
Dude,
I thought if he was gonna
that's why
open his eye, it was gonna be against Kaido when he uses Ashura. It didn't happen, right? So either that eye is just
that's
not a thing, and there's nothing behind it, and we the way that he lost it is the like big reveal, or he's so true to his word with everything, like he is with Luffy, with Mihawk, that he's not opening it until they fight.
I think it's more of an end game thing. Like Oda's not gonna. My biggest theory about this crew is that everybody in the end of it is gonna get Conqueror's Haki. Everybody.
That would be nuts. That would be
Everybody's
fucking
gonna.
nuts.
And with that said,
Nami's been
this seeps
foreshadowed with
back.
it,
This seeps exactly, and this seeps back into my Usopp.
and Usopp for sure has like that earthquake scene when he's like, "Oh, is this my Conqueror's hockey?"
Which is my point because Oda's not gonna use Usopp for a minute because in Wano he unlocked his observation, and Usopp doesn't even know really he has observation. Then the next big jump for Usopp is gonna be King lies, obviously. Well, we all know how many lies Usopp has told that have come true. Him fighting the dragon, be cool with giants.
And there's no reason for him to have
And,
armor, man. There's no reason. He doesn't need it. If he has
yeah, 'cause
observation with projectiles, he's good.
yeah, he's a sniper. Like, so it's kind of tough to use Usopp. I can't show you one yet. And then Nami, obviously, she's gonna get a Conqueror's Haki because she's the king of the sea, so queen of the sea sword.
Yo, does
Jinbei, obviously, because he was already pirate king, pirate captain, or whatever, and him showing it off against that cat guy. I forget his name now, but him showing it
Page
off
one?
there
Was it page one?
was that page one? That wasn't page one. Page one is the.
No, you're right. Page one is the dinosaur. Who's, bro? Why am I blanking? I love that character too. The one that like, he's
I love
comparable.
him too.
He said he was comparable to Lucci, and he was on the ship with the devil
Yep.
fruit, with the gum gum fruit.
And I love that little backstory that we got. Like,
Yo, why am I blanking? This is gonna bother me. I gotta look it up.
but I love that backstory that we got of it. Like how we know, like the more the backstory comes out on Luffy's devil fruit, it's just insane how it got stolen and all things pulled up. I was like, I don't care. I don't care if the Marines are here. Like, yo, we out. The fruit, we out. And it's just dope to see more pirates. Because if you can say any real characters from this show have been true examples of piracy, would have been Kaido and fucking Doflamingo.
Bro, Dofi
Those-
is such a good villain. Dofi's so good.
Those-
I will give Kishimoto
Right.
credit for that because he did help write that when Oda was sick. I'll give him credit for that. That's a good villain.
Yeah, great character. Great character. Him shooting his dad and everything.
Who's Who, by the way, it's Who's Who. I always mix up Who's Who on page one.
I like that we also got these pacifistas.
Yes, the Seraphims. The Seraphims are a perfected version of the old warlords, which is why they abolished the system. And now the government's hunting. Well, that's another chapter ahead. But the Seraphims being clones, but improved versions of the warlords, also shows where like we have a meter to show everyone's strength without creating enemies of new friends. Right? It would make no. Oda wrote it perfectly. It would make no sense for the warlords to attack the Straw Hats now that they've created so many allies. So he made a version where they are at their power now, even better, without having to refight everybody.
Yeah, everybody doesn't have to keep linking up and crap. Like everybody already has their own missions.
Yeah.
Is
Yo, and
already
giving
linked
Jinbei
up.
the swim fruit is fucking broken.
Yeah.
Yo, so
Yeah.
to tail into that, bro, how do you feel that Zoro straight up told Seraphim Mihawk, yo, you have more humanity than this guy? Is Mihawk actually a vampire?
Vam fruit? No, because he was there in the daytime.
You could be out in the daytime with a devil fruit. You just can't swim.
No, nigga, not if he has the Vam fruit.
You don't know the rules. Did you watch Twilight? Did you watch Twilight? I saw mad vampires out during the day in Twilight.
Oda is not a horrible writer. I'm sorry. Not gonna do that. I'm sorry. Disrespect your Twilight people.
Yo, high key, if you think about it, we've only seen Mihawk inside at night. What if it did? What if it did it in reverse?
Or what if it's opposite? Like he can come out in the daytime, but he can't come out at night. That's some writing right there. But of course he's gonna tell little Mihawk, like, yeah, you got more humanity left. Like you're shit. Like you're a child.
Or maybe it's because Mihawk's so bored and didn't have a challenger before Zoro. That could be it too. Because he said the spark of humanity, so he has like, he still has some life behind the eyes. Mihawk's bored after Shanks lost his arm.
That's arguable. Well, yeah. I mean, not anymore. Now that they're being hunted.
No, but before.
Oh,
Okay, but Zoro's not with him during that.
True.
It's also wild to me that the Straw Hats spent more time apart than together.
in real time, I think we got like 5 years of Zoro and Sanji being split. There's like a weird like
That's
I stopped
fucking nuts.
remember. Because if you think about it, the last time they were together was Dressrosa, and they didn't link back up until one.
You're right.
In real time, that's like 5 years.
Yo. Okay. So back to the fight thing. Artist opinion. How do you feel about the clashing? Cause I thought that shit looked like Yu-Gi-Oh cards, bruh. That shit was so detailed.
I mean, like I've said about Oda, he never really draws anything sloppy, and that is probably
That's, believe it or not, that's a hot take. A lot of people think he was very sloppy from Dressrosa all the way to the end of Whole Cake. Maybe even the beginning of Wano. I don't think that, by the way. I'm just saying.
he. I don't know. Oda never really draws anything sloppy. As an artist, is the only thing he does that I never really liked, and he's kind of reduced it over time.
Making things
was
so
his,
small in
yup, clutter,
yeah.
clutter. Like he used to clutter so much. I think the last time he really did it was that explosion in Wano. I think
I would
uh,
also say when we were dealing with the numbers, he was cluttering a lot during that.
yeah, like that would be the only situations. But I honestly think sometimes he does it on. He wants you to like either really zoom in or not.
Or he hides things in plain sight.
Yeah, like he's doing it all. And I have to learn. I have to understand that it's not sloppy. It's just clutter,
Yeah.
and it's for a reason, in my opinion.
Mhm.
But in terms of the clash and everything, I thought it was fire. Like, um, it's cool to see like Zoro getting that duel because it's kind of like seeing Vegeta and you know what I'm saying, like that little scaling.
Yeah. Dog. I just I'm just in awe of like okay, let's just be linear for a little bit from the time Zoro clashes till I have it pulled up here until I want to say when we get the shot of the two kids like explaining how scary the situation was, right? You know, like post them saying in the lab like, "Hey, everybody stop fighting immediately. This is all going to blow up or whatever." Right? Um
Mm-hmm.
I think there he just how do I say this? He told a lot in between the lines and I didn't need to see any of it. It was beautiful. Like we go, "Hey, this is exploding, stop fighting." Everybody listening because of what was said. Then we have some paneling with Stussy like in the corner. Then we have the Seraphims at a standstill and then like like them calm and Zoro kind of like sizing everything up and scanning, and we cut straight to Luffy, right, looking for Vegapunk. Then it's the little the panel of the island from out in the sea. I'm looking at it right now, right? It says a truly unexpected development. Dr. Vegapunk's main Stella body has vanished, right? And that outside paneling was dope. And then it skips to the Sphinx world, like where we
Which
go
I
to.
forgot. I so forgot about this chapter. Like looking back at it, I'm like, oh, he gave you Whitebeards. Because remember,
We've been
if
waiting
I
on
remember,
Neville. We've been waiting on this shit.
well, for me, it's more of the fact that like
Is he really
we've
his
been
kid?
waiting on. We never got anything after Shanks and Barco like departing, and now
Yeah.
for the first time, finally get to see. Oh yeah, these two. What happened after that? You got to see Marco being on this island, hearing pretty much the backstory of what happened. The Marines pulled up on the bully. It's like, dang, dog. Like, it's kind of cool that we haven't got away from Whitebeard's legacy. Whitebeard's like
Bro, and his kid, whether it's
dominant.
actually his kid or not, we get
No,
confirmation that. What?
it's a seraphim.
Is it?
At least that's that's either my theory or that's what I got out of it. Because if
Bro,
we're thinking about,
I didn't even peep.
he's a Seraphim,
Yeah, a failed one, right? Because he's fat.
sure.
I mean, Whitebeard's not fat, bro.
No, I'm just saying like it could also be because he's a kid. Like technically, Weevil is like young,
Oh, okay, yeah.
you know.
Bro,
He's not acting like.
I didn't even think of it as that. Am I slow? What the hell?
Nah, you didn't want to probably go into the whole everybody's a clone theory.
Yes, because now we can use that for everybody. We can.
Yeah,
Luffy's a clone of Gold D. Rogers. Zoro's a clone of Ryuma. Fucking Sanji's.
yeah,
Well, Sanji is a lab experiment, actually.
yeah. It's kind of it's kind of unfair to do that, but in this scenario, it makes a little more sense
Yeah,
considering if we skip real quick, because I think it's towards the end of the chapter.
yeah.
Yeah, if you skip towards the end, she literally says, "Oh, ask Vegapunk," and it's like,
Bro. Yeah, I think I skipped over that. And then, by the way, we got for 1073, because I would like to move on to 74. Can we talk about St. J. Garcia Saturn, bruh? Getting revealed? We have a name of a
yeah.
Gorosei. We have a name.
Before we skip, though, I think it's kind of important in that uh, Oda kind of portrayed how Oda portrayed the Marines and crap when they pulled up. I'm trying to. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to like digress my cursing. So
You're
I
good.
gotta like think a
You
little
could
bit.
curse. I curse like a motherfucker.
I just don't know how much fucking cursing because if it goes on YouTube, you gotta bleep these shits out.
It's just as long as we don't curse in the first 30 seconds, and I'm not even monetized yet, so you're good.
Okay. So yeah,
You talk normal.
it's interesting how they talk about Whitebeard's treasure. Like we didn't even know Whitebeard had a treasure. Like at this point, I would have thought the treasure would have been
Yeah.
Whitebeard. What else did he want? But I guess yeah, sure, whatever his treasure is. But it's cool that he says like, yo, how the Marines pulled up just like and it's just dope to think about the Void Century and everything that happened. Because it's like, yo, originally, I guess the pirates were the just people, and then the world government that we know now, the original pirates, and that dynamic has just keep shifting,
Yeah.
over time. Would explain the Doflamingo quote even more, uh, from the Marineford War to Throne Wars. Doflamingo be saying things. I'm just saying, Doflamingo be saying things, and we don't really be paying attention because we don't understand what the hell
That's
that nigga be
another.
saying.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, quick apologies for all that
Like,
moving around
we
for the
saying,
people who are watching on video. My dog was asking, well, one of my dogs was asking up because she wanted to sit behind me and it knocked everything over. So whoever's listening just heard my mic fucking fall right in their ear.
there's
um,
um,
but yeah, dude, fucking.
yeah,
What?
like I said, it was cool seeing the, little kids here, uh, guns being pointed in kids' faces. They're definitely not
Yeah. Here's,
gonna
I also do, like, now, the more and more you say about the Seraphim,
yeah, we'll just come
but also Oda doesn't do,
and
like, he doesn't do that shit by accident either. And every time, like, think about in retrospect with Wano, the whole theme was Devil Fruit Awakenings before Luffy awakened, right? We started catching it
right.
towards the end, but it only made sense that he was gonna ascend to the Sun God after you read it. I think we're gonna look back at this and like, oh, okay, yeah, he is a Seraphim. Like, Weevil's a Seraphim. Because it went from
Yeah,
the
like
panel of the Seraphims, why did we jump to another island at random? To explain. Bro,
I agree.
reading the thing now,
It's,
it does say break
it's
next
just
week on 1073, so I just didn't register that shit in my head.
and it's the fact that she's like, yeah, he is White dude's kid. Because that's the thing too. he doesn't necessarily have to be a Seraphim, or maybe the way he was created was different because he could be a combination of like Lin Lin and Whitebeard.
Whoa.
Because then the mom would have had to be, yeah. Because I doubt this chick is, or maybe this lady is, a something. Because maybe she was linked up with the scientists. Uh, Egghead was with, or her character. I think is more mystery than anything because if we figure out who she really is, then kind of get more on because she could have been with the crew, right?
Yeah.
And they could have made as a Seraphim, but at the same time, who is she? Like we know nothing really about that crew except that Caesar was there, Sanji's dad was there, Egghead was there, like she was there, like or I mean that's theorized, but I'm pretty sure she was in that cover panel, just taller. I don't know why she got short, but if
Oda
that's
does
not
that with
her,
age. Oda does that with age.
yeah, yeah, I know. But if that's not her though,
Mm-hmm.
then I think it's even more interesting because it's like, okay, well, he definitely needed a female host, so it would have been, it would have made sense to have England and I mean Whitebeard because he kind of looks ugly like Big Mom.
Yeah, exactly, exactly like Big Mom. Ah,
Didn't he have
that's
pink
such
hair?
a good theory. No, he has
Doesn't
blonde
he
hair.
have pink hair?
He has blonde hair.
So, the mom has pink hair. Somebody has pink hair. I might be stretching. But
Maybe.
anyways,
Head canon.
yeah, head canon.
But anyway, 1074. The opening.
1070.
The opening of the chapter. This I will say for the audience, I only read this chapter once. So I am gonna need to review a lot. Like to look back a lot. But dog, we just open up with Kuma. Which is basically the theme of it's the theme of the chapter. Right? But also we get the fight between him and I don't want to call them fodder because it like they weren't one shot or anything, but they're just random characters, right? So I guess they're fodder. But fodder with a purpose, I guess. Like we know that he has a bubble shield. We know that he's on a mission and it's a nice prelude. I wouldn't call it foreshadowing, right? But it's a nice prelude to what we're going to see with Bonnie and Sentomaru, right? Um talking about the exploits in the chapter specifically, right? That when Luffy says something, it's gonna happen. That's one, and two, Bonnie not having a strong enough integrity to even take all of the memories that she was taking in from her dad to understand her dad.
Well, you're
Hey,
skipping through this chapter.
come here,
I think
come here.
like you just went way slapping governments because I think when once Kizaru and everybody pulls up, pacifistas are going to be what's used to hold them off Vietnam escape. And it's kind of cool that you also see what's his face still alive, and you get to see how he reflects on how the government is moving and things like that. Like he low key understands the questions having this pacifist and protecting shit. So it's kind of interesting. Like, are you gonna be a pirate now too? Because I doubt the world government is gonna be okay with just letting the pacifistas attack
Yeah,
freaking intelligence agencies and shit. Because are they CP or is that like CP team or is
that's
that
what I don't
world
know.
government?
That's what I don't understand.
Just like yo, who are y'all?
But that's what I was
World
saying. They're not
government
fodder.
usually doesn't.
They're this weird tweener thing where they're operatives of some sort, right? Because they're not wearing the same thing as everybody else, so they have to be higher up in some capacity with the government. It's just
Right.
how
Exactly.
how high up.
Yeah, how that connection is because if it's too high, then yeah, you mark.
Yeah.
If it's not high enough, then you're kind of chilling, but there are going to be some repercussions. Like
No,
with
for
this
sure.
fucking
And
Fujitora, that man's not allowed to come back.
for them to cut to Sentomaru, do we think that they're equal value or just under him?
Exactly. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Um,
I just don't know, cause
yeah, but then we can use comedy.
bro, and then look, and then I was in. Okay, by the way, the reason I skipped ahead is because I was just talking about the path of what Oda was talking about in the themes. Um, yeah, so like there's two major things in this chapter that we were supposed to be following, right? It's Kuma's story, which is linked to Bonnie, and it's Luffy's word, and that's like the subtlety of the chapter, right? If you don't, at least my first time reading, the
Right,
second we
because like make sure you create things like that.
the second we got that flashback of Luffy saying what he's gonna do, Luffy always does what he says, right? He's always a man of his word in the story. We we saw a jump cut to the Kuma stuff or whatever, and then we get the him being tired, right? And the Vegapunk stuff. Without
Love
jumping
that.
too ahead, we'll get to specifics afterwards, right?
Yeah, love that.
When I started seeing that Luffy pop up more, I was looking at it subtly, right? I was like, okay, what's the story within the story here? And I could be just taking the piss or whatever, right? But the way that I interpreted everything is that our main objective right now, like because this is for sure a transition chapter. We're moving towards something big right now. It feels like the end of an arc, to be honest. But Bonnie's main
Feels
thing
like
was
the
the
beginning.
yeah, it feels like Bonnie's lack of integrity is somehow linked to Luffy's passion and will and having integrity.
Mhm.
It just looks like it though. If you take this if this is the only chapter of One Piece you read, it just looks like that. Right? And
I
then
agree.
remember Sentamaru's word is law, and there's a parallel with that and her looking back at Luffy. Like you clearly see that there's a inspiration like from Luffy, and that's why that he said I keep calling Sentamaru her, bruh, because when I was younger I used to think that was a
I
girl,
used to think that it was freaking girl for the longest.
bro. When I was
But during that whole sample,
yes,
I thought he was a
bro.
girl.
What were you in ninth
And then
grade, eighth grade when that was happening?
basic nah, Sam Bodie was 8th grade. Damn, you making us sound old. Don't say that.
I don't know what year was
Shit, like,
Sabaody.
I don't know, Sam. I don't know. What
Hang
arc
on.
was right before it?
Sabaody. I'm looking up the date. 2008 to 2009. I got it on the money, son. 8th to ninth
Jesus
grade.
Christ. Little Wayne.
Yeah.
Wow, Little Wayne.
On the
That passed
fucking
Little Wayne
money.
here.
Yeah. Shit.
Christ.
Yeah, so 2008, 2009, I used to think that Setsumara was a girl. But anyway, like, you see the inspiration. It literally looks like a one-for-one of what he was looking at with Luffy.
At the same, I don't know if it's necessarily. It could be that.
You don't think it's
It's not-
inspiration?
not, but it could. I think it's also the fact that like, bro, like it's also a history of him doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's never a reason to doubt Luffy. Anytime he's like you said, his integrity and everything. So, anytime Luffy has ever said, "Yo, I got you," I got you.
Yeah, and
Plain and simple.
the reason I was saying
For
that was
him-
to say this. The Sentamaru is the latest addition in another Luffy ally. Right? And
somebody that used to be a villain.
yeah, and it was confirmed in this chapter basically. And then the parallels between Bonnie and Luffy of Bonnie saying I don't have the will for this. You know the setup, the like springboard for the next thing is all right, Luffy's going to handle the Kuma stuff now. That's happening now.
What if he joins the crew and Luffy gets the pacifistas?
If that's what he uses to get to Emu, that would make so much sense.
Bro, Oda did say somebody's gonna join the crew.
Yeah, but Vega,
I hope
remember
he still
that?
wants to
Do you remember what's said at the end of the chapter?
I hope the one.
that they're putting fake
Oh,
news.
we'll get to that. Yeah, we'll get to that.
Okay, I'll let you guide the rest because all I have left for what I want to talk about is really the couch from the couch scene. It looks like a couch even though it's not. You know when they're chilling, right?
Yeah.
Um, from the couch scene, the little pain that I already discussed, like the taking Kuma's memories, and then that was
Oh,
it.
I have
That
so
and the end of the chapter. So I'll let you take the middle and just bring me back in when we're talking about the end because I talked about everything I wanted to talk about with this chapter. The rest is you, bruh. You can take it. Hello?
um.
Oh, there we go.
So when yeah, you hear me?
Yeah, now I do.
For stars,
Basically, is there
much to talk
anything
about when it
is
comes
there
to
anything
everything. So I have
you wanted to say about this? Cuz like it's pretty cut and dry like from here on out, right? We get the Usopp gag about where Bonnie is, right? Like how we find out where Bonnie is a
well,
Usopp and Luffy gag. Then Luffy being tired, you know, it's like pretty straight through.
nah, it's not.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So let me get into it. Let me have
Okay.
my segue.
Maybe I was
Maybe
distracted by Zoro's
really
fit, you
elaborate
know?
on
Zoro came in correct and I just
was
got distracted.
whatever. So where your distraction misses, I'll get to my little gag shit. I love Luffy fucking running all over the place. I love him being, tired. I love that Oda is slowly starting to show more like Goofy expressions on Goofy to really bring out the Gear 5 implements or whatever.
For sure
And then
pre-time skip
obviously,
comedy too. Like the
which is going to say that obviously
where
pre-time skip comedy with it being revealed that like, oh yeah, I knew.
no, how about just when Zoro thinks he's going to like look for somebody with him, they're like, "Fuck no, you're gonna get lost. Stay here."
Oh well, yo, before I was waiting to get to that because I love Luffy fucking popping his eyes out and being like, "What the hell you do the entire
But
time?"
that's what I was saying.
But
The Luffy and Usopp gag, like that was
that
perfect.
Zoro's that gag is hilarious,
Yes.
bro. Hilarious. He walks in like such a badass. Like, yo, I thought we were leaving. Like,
Yeah.
oof, like this man is on a mission. Handled Kaku like, and yes, Dusty jumped in, but I just handled Kaku, and you over here talking about all this extra shit. Wasn't we supposed to get Egghead out of here? Let's go, let's go. Like, I love Zoro pulling up on such a badass tip. Uh, I love Chopper being Chopper. I love the whole everybody like the background again because we talked about it earlier. The way Oda draws the background is always important. Like he never just leaves an empty background, and you low key see it a lot in this panel because you see how who's paying attention to what. Usopp's not even paying attention to anything that's going on
No,
here.
there's two people not paying
He's still
attention.
paying
Sanji's
attention to
locked on to sexy punk, and fucking Usopp's distracted with fear.
wait. Nah, Sanji is. Well, he's
Yeah. Before he
and I
tells
like how
Zoro you're staying here. Bro, by the way, I love Chopper's reaction. I love actually Chopper and Robin.
yeah,
It's so funny. Like the parallels with the Straw Hats are so good now because like, okay, Zoro, you're actually the leader because we need somebody to bring in Luffy. And then Robin, Chopper, and Sanji are like, okay, we're the three that need to keep Zoro in his place because if not, he's gonna fuck himself over because he's not the brightest either. It's so funny. It's like, all right, you're really the pseudo leader, but the pseudo leader needs fucking three keepers to keep him in check.
and, and it was put. And I love how they had to give Jinbei the memo. Like, hey, no, never
Yeah.
lead. Never let Luffy lead. Never let Zoro go because we're fucked. We are fucking.
Yeah,
fucked.
exactly. Everybody has their role.
Because,
You let them stay within their pocket.
and like I'll tell people all the time, I'm like, yo, direct the way Oda directs the story is important, which is why um the last couple of episodes have been iffy for me. Like, yeah, they've been amazing, 10 out of 10. Well, not 10 out of 10, but yeah, they've been amazing. But I'd only give them an 8.5 out of 10 because I don't like how some of the directing. But that's a whole separate conversation. But how
Oh,
it
we
parallels it
could.
is
That's
the
another
fact
two
that it still
hours.
keeps the portrayal of Zoro being a badass, a part of him out of nowhere and being like, "Hey, I thought we were leaving," to the point that he's like, "You know what? I guess I'll let that. Who we looking for?" To the point that everybody's like, "Yeah, like I love how Sanji's the first one to who's just like, yo,
Yeah,
one, you're cock blocking. Two, I guess you can lend a hand, but at the same time, you're just gonna get lost." But Robin is the only one who's cute about it. Was just like, yeah, you're gonna get lost.
bro. When she says "be a deer,"
The
I'm
fact
like, yo,
that
she just belittled my man's right now. Talking to him like he's four. Be a deer and take a
it's
seat.
just crazy how like small she makes him. Like she's the only one out of the crew that makes him so small. It's like,
Bro, which is
yeah,
another parallel she has with
yeah,
Luffy, right? Like, Luffy's the only person that can tell Zoro what to do. Robin's the only one who can ask Zoro to do something, right? Like, I really think that they're related. I'm gonna be honest.
yeah,
I
because
think that they're
Nami is
related.
parallel to Sanji.
Yes, yes.
To that.
It's
Well,
so
no,
funny.
yeah, because Nami is parallel to Sanji. It's like that's why he doesn't listen to Nami. He's just like, nigga, no, fuck you.
Yeah,
But right, let me keep going. The whole scene that is obviously
yeah.
phenomenal. I'm not grateful to get that. Uh, I was saying for a while now, this panel reminds me of something, and I don't really remember what it is, but it could be when they were in Capo's mansion and they were doing that mafia meeting.
Oh
I
my
don't know really
god.
what it really,
Is it that?
but it has
Is
so
it
many
that?
parallels. It could be it could also be the chapter that he did with all the characters that he did from originally, like back in the day, where he had everybody, the whole crew on it.
Could it be Water
And then he
7?
threw it
Cuz
together
literally
recently. It's Jim Bay.
right below it they say takes me back to Water 7. Maybe we're like maybe somewhere deep down in our brains we're associated with a scene.
Water 7 is like bringing it back, but I just love how it just shows off like their OPness. Like Zoro's just chilling, like yeah, like you just finished running around. And Luffy's just like, yeah, I do what I do. And the best part of it is like, yo, these two are at the bottom of the panel, at the bottom of their feet,
Yeah.
knocked out. And it's
Yeah.
like, yo, Oda, like the way he drew that is like, yeah, I'm gonna put you at the bottom of the panel too, like, because it could have been done any other way, like, but it's just clean. Like, I really respect the way he does that. Now for the fucking meats pause.
Yeah, the
Of
meats.
the
You talk about
fucking
Bonnie's cheeks? Talk about Bonnie's cheeks?
yeah, because them shits all out.
Yeah, bro. Oda was like, "Oh, you like fan service? Here's half the chapter."
So when it comes to this, I think the distraction of it for you is that you didn't you didn't ask the question of like what's going on in the memory. You know what I'm saying? Because what we
You're
know
right.
about
You're right. I didn't even
Kuma
think
is that
about
he was
what's
a
going
king,
on.
right? He was a beloved king, and then and he became a tyrant, right? This
Hmm.
is supposed to be his memories, correct? Why
Yeah.
is he getting beat down by people? Like, who are these people that are beating him down? Is this people maybe early in his life, or does he portray himself as still the same kid he was when he's always been? And the fact that everybody is beating down on him, is that the people that he was protecting, and now they're just like, nah, fuck you, and he's just trying to bang it, which would have been when Dragon pulled up and was like, yo, I'll save you, and then that's why he became a tyrant. It still doesn't portray, still doesn't show why or what happened to make the people do that to him, but it also shows you like um, the Celestials being there too, because
You're right.
he's like, yo, just kill me because if not, if I go back, the Celestials are gonna get me. So something definitely happened involving the Celestials and like the reason for why he was no longer beloved king and things like that. Because this fucking memory thing had me like going crazy because I was like, bro, what? Like, there's so much to take from this, and it's like there's nothing that can be like confirmed. Like we have no idea what we're looking at. We have no idea what characters are what. We have no idea what their perspectives are. We just see Kuma knowing like, hey, I know what I did, so kill me for it. Because if I go back, I'm fucked either way. And then you see the Celestials. So it's like, bro, something went down, dog. Something went the fuck
Bro, you're right.
down.
I didn't clock that. I just read past that. I wasn't asking myself the
Saved them.
question. Yeah. Shit.
And then all of that pain in that memory, because it is also the integrity, but you got to remember, like, those memories are painful. Like, you can't handle that much pain. This is somebody who's torn between having to have protect his people, being a king, and then having to be labeled as a tyrant, knowing that I'm gonna die if I go back because the Celestials got me. Like, it's just fire. The two turns where it's like, yo, I have nowhere to go, and knowing eventually that he links up with the dragon and Yvonne is like, ooh,
No.
so what happened?
Go
The
Mimi.
dragon pulled off.
It's Mimi.
There was some shit. And
You
then
Mimi
things
now.
happened and made dragon.
Hello? Yo? Yo? Elliot? Hello? Alright, well, we got technical difficulties. Let's see what the fuck is going on. Yo. What is going on? Hello. Let's test this out. No, we're working. Is the mic the right mic? No, I'm not on the right mic. Oh, wait, yeah, I am. What? Hello? Elliot?
Am I?
Now I hear
Can you
you.
hear me?
Hello?
Sorry about that. My phone fucking overheated.
Did it really?
I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, and I had it on the charger. But where was I? Yeah, no, man. So like I was saying, it's just cool that dynamic of like her not being able to handle his pain, like, because he told her from the jump, like, yo, this isn't gonna be easy for you. Like, this is probably not only is it his memories, but it's also his most painful memories. And yeah, I just think like it's dope how knowing that eventually he teams up with Dragon and Yvonne is dope because most likely Dragon and Yvonne most likely pulled up where he was, saved him, caused a ruckus, and then got known officially as the Revolutionary Army because that was probably the first place that they, you know,
Yeah.
liberate.
And then Ivankov made Crocodile Woman, or made Crocodile Man after she had Luffy, and that's how we got Luffy.
I mean, hey, there's too many times Oda has like dropped maybe like some type of hint. Like he has a whole chapter panel or cover where he's like, "Oh yeah, a woman's secret," and it's Croc Lady.
Yeah. Yeah. Croc for sure is a woman. I just don't know if it's Luffy's mom. It's either Croc or Robin's mom is Luffy's mom.
I think Robin's mom is Luffy's mom.
It makes sense. They speak the same language.
Yeah, pineapple guy.
Yeah. Bro, okay.
And he's like, "Oh
Oh, go ahead.
no."
I was gonna say, to close things out, big news, everyone! Big news, Morgan is back, and he straight up threw his dick on the table, dog. He straight up said, I don't care if it's true or not. The news needs to be entertaining.
Fox News style.
I fucking love him. Bro, all news network style, if we're being honest.
Yeah. But, you know.
Yeah. But mainly the evil source.
But it's dope that he's like, it shows that he's like manipulating, like he
Bro,
always has. He's manipulating the stories and shit.
I just think it's funny that he called out fucking Vivi. He's like, who are you to talk? You were crying like a day ago.
Yeah, yeah. It's dope to see that like she got out, but it's just like what's going on in Alabasta. One, she had to pull out with fucking Big Dick Morgan over here.
Also, let's think about the importance of Alabasta. Why was Ace, Croc, Luffy out of Destiny, and Smoker there at the same time?
Yeah. And all it's like, yeah, but they were looking for a poneglyph, and it's like, nah, there's a reason why you also mentioned it again. You've never mentioned any other spot again like that.
Yeah.
Except like Fishman Island, which has obvious.
And we're gonna have to backtrack. That's the thing. We have to make our way back. That's the thing I'm most excited about on the story is the Straw Hats getting the One Piece, and then okay, time to backtrack. We have to go here, 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 here.
Well, I don't think that's happening, dude.
You don't think we're backtracking?
I do, but not in that order. Because Oda has said once the One Piece is found, the story is over.
I'm kind of sad that we don't get an
Oh.
epilogue then, if that's the case.
No, so think about it.
Oda also
There's
said
a
the
certain-
story was gonna be done in 5 years, like 7 times.
Yeah, but we all know he's holding off for the 30th anniversary.
I hope so because right now the timetable is before that, which makes no sense to me. Oda cares so much about timing. There's no way.
Yeah, remember he came out recently and said, "Yo, you guys can relax." Like I said, 2-3 years and all, but that's
He's
not
yeah,
necessarily the case.
where he meant like at the end of after Wano's done, you got this amount of time.
Yeah, so he's like, yeah, 5 years most likely.
I hope
But,
so.
what was I saying? Because he's like, I got engaged.
My bad.
Oh,
My bad.
everybody being there. It's like we're gonna go backwards, coming soon. Like probably after Elbaf, I think we'll go backwards.
That would make sense too. We have to backtrack at some point because we got to get back to Fishman Island at the least, and we have to go back to Sabaody at the least. That's two. That's two islands right there.
We also got to go back to Laboon.
Yeah. We got to check up on Dressrosa after what happened with fucking Sabo.
Check on Dressrosa. Like, there's a lot of shit that we gotta end up going.
I never want to see Whole Cake again. I don't need to go back there. We keep that.
I hated Whole Cake. Honestly.
I hated Whole Cake, and people are like, "Oh, it wasn't that bad." Read it week to week.
Terrible.
Watch it week to week. Not the best. Not the best.
Terrible.
Easily the worst arc.
That was easily, no competition. The only thing that arc has is honestly Katakuri.
Cat's goaded.
The bloody massacre wedding, whatever.
Yeah, which was modeled after the Red Wedding in Game of Thrones. It was dope as fuck.
Yeah, that was cool. And the early story, not even. There's a few more. There's Luffy battling the 10,000 people or whatever. That was fire. There's bits and pieces of the Sanji story that were fire, and then the beginning of Whole Cake was fire. After that, it's like,
Yeah. Like, we had great highs. It's just the lows and the mids were so low and mid.
I mean, I love Tank Man too.
Oh, of course. Anytime we got Tank Man and Snake Man. I love that Gear 4th had like a bunch of different forms to get Luffy off of whatever island he was on, or survive whatever island he was on with Rayleigh.
Well, yeah, because we also knew like he named his attacks after the animals that he trained.
Yeah. Bro, but with that being said, any last predictions or words on the next chapter? Or anything left to say about this one?
Besides the memory thing being the most important part, and I'm like, yo, needing to know the perspectives, you know, what what's going on, like the kids. I mean, the people and the Celestials. It's like that parallels the thing. Um, as for future predictions, I have already said that I think the crew is all gonna get fucking Conquerors hockey. Um, I think Dragon is pulling up soon still.
Really, I think
Everybody
that's the
forgets
next
about.
one. I think Dragon pulls up when we see Shanks again. I think that's
If
when
he
Dragon
doesn't
pulls up.
pull up, if he doesn't pull up to Egghead Island, I think he pulls up on Mary Jolis.
By the way, as a Cuban, I have so many mixed feelings about Dragon being modeled after Castro. Like it's so perfect. It makes so much sense for him to be a revolutionary and be
Yeah,
modeled
but
after.
at the same time, it's like he's portraying Castro, I guess, in a good lighting.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, it is.
But
I also
also, we
like
don't
this.
know shit about Dragon. He could actually be bad. Like
Nah, I think Dragon was a movie. I think we all know at this point Dragon was a movie.
Marines are bad, except for Garp and Sengoku
But that's my thing.
and Kobe and
Because remember the myth, that Japanese myth that they have, where the dragon was the most loyal to the king, but once he saw what the king was doing, he booked it.
Mhm.
And then what was it? I think the bird was, the dog stayed because he was loyal.
Yeah, but we've
Uh,
got. By the way, so we have that triad three other times in One Piece, and the two that are important. One was There's no way I'm blanking on this. There's no way I'm blanking on this. Momo, Luffy, and Elliot. My memory's so bad right now. Why? Why am I blanking? Oda's or not Oda's. Kaido's son. Why am I blanking on the name?
Yamato.
Hmm?
Yamato.
Yamato. There we
Yamato.
go. I don't know why I blanked on Yamato. I don't know why. Especially with those
Because of
titties.
Odin.
You can't. Yeah, exactly. That's why. I always call Yamato Odin Jr. And I never call her Yamato. But anyway, we got the triad with them, and then we got the triad with the first three admirals that we saw, which is Akuiji, um, Akainu, and memory's awful today. We just saw him,
See?
light dude.
I love how, like, at some point soon, because we know that the girl says pulling up,
Mm-hmm.
um, which I used to tell people all the time. I'm like, yo, these niggas are steppers. Don't get it twisted. Like, do not get it twisted. I know they look like old people, but they're
Mm-hmm.
steppers. And one of them has a sword, and it could easily be one of the legendary swordsmen of like Wano, whatever. Like, don't get it twisted. The girl says backstory is gonna be insane, and I love how we're gonna get a power scaling because at some point Kizaru's pulling up, right?
Yeah. By the way,
And
Kizaru was the last one.
my favorite thing we've seen from Kizaru recently is Red, like the movie Red, whatever.
Yeah.
You saw it?
Bro, when he was like, alright, that's fine.
Nah, if you peep, right? If you peep, when Shanks is showing out his conquerors happy, right? Everybody falls except Kizaru. And I think that is so fucking scary. That nigga is on demon time for real.
Bro,
For
remember
reals.
when people used to theorize that he was Vegapunk because all the like SBS sketches of him as a kid are him smart and like working with tools and shit, and he has like ancient Egyptian like head garb?
Yeah. But none of that came true.
Nope, he's not Vegapunk. That would have been
So yeah,
wild.
it's gonna be cool because somebody's got to tackle Kizaru, and it's most likely going to
Sanji?
be uh, Sanji or Zoro.
I think Zoro has. If Fujitora decides that he's still gonna be against the Straw Hats, because I still don't know. He feels to me like Admiral Jinbei. Drop my mic.
Fujitora pulling up.
You see me?
Fujitora pulling up.
Do you see me?
Yeah, I see. I don't see you right now. Hold on. Let me go back to this. Yeah, I see.
I don't fucking know. I don't
I
fucking
don't
know.
know. I don't think Fujitora is pulling up.
If Fujitora doesn't pull up, I think Zoro's fight has to be Kizaru because Kizaru has the light blade. Rayleigh fought him. There's like parallels there with Rayleigh and Zoro. But it would make more sense to tackle Fujitora, right? By the way, I think Fujitora has. This dog wants me to pick her up again. Yo, my other dog stayed chilling, sleeping on the bed this whole time. This one, needy. Um. But anyway, I got sidetracked. I think Fujitora has his sword is the one with the devil fruit.
Same, same. But let me. If Kuma booked it to Mary Jolis, right?
Yeah. Yo, that was the most New York way you could say Mary Joie I've ever heard in my life.
It's not in Mary Jolis.
It's French.
It's
It's
Mary
Mary Joie.
Oh, okay. My bad to my French people. But yeah, if Kuma's going there, then and Dragon's father,
Yo, we about to run this shit in Mary Jolis.
that's what I always thought it was.
Yo, those motherfuckers down in Mary Jolis, son. Yo, this is mad disrespectful.
Well, fuck that place anyways. They got
For real.
people.
I have a theory, Elliot. I have a theory. And I'm going to end it on this. And we're just going to cut it off because we're not even talking about 1074 at this point.
Nah, we're just theorizing.
Yeah, which is fine. I do want these to like tail off into this. This is what I want. It's just like we closed it off and we're like, oh yeah, but more One Piece. Like it always is. It's always like this.
Didn't I give you a headcanon recently that you were like, yo,
Yeah,
this? I forgot what it was.
I don't know.
But anyways, you're gonna.
Why am I blanking on your head? I'm blanking on a lot today. It's because I worked too long today, man. I couldn't even get Kizaru's name right.
So scary.
I don't even remember what we were talking about, dude. I'm so fried. What was I saying? Dog, it's a bad day for me. I used all my brain power at work. The fuck was I saying? Elliot?
I'm here.
What was I saying? What were we talking about?
That you were about to like say something.
Oh, thanks, man. That's specific.
Yeah, I know. Like that's what I was saying.
How am I blanking on that? I'm blanking on everything today. We're talking about Mary Jolis.
Marriage.
That's oh, my theory, the battery. I think that the reason there is a freezing cold place there, right? And it's guarded with a big old straw hat, right? Which is for sure Joy Boy's straw hat, right? I think it's cold because that's how you keep a battery going, and that's the pure source of energy that Vegapunk was looking for. And then the keeper of the Ice fruit, Akoiji, right? He's not really with Blackbeard, which also keeps the blue pheasant part of the story correct, right? The blue pheasant pretends to be with the enemy and then comes back. And I don't think he wants to help the world government, but he does keep it alive because he knows Luffy's going to end up helping everybody, right? Moral of the story is, I think there's a giant battery with pure energy, and that's going to start the, the technological push for the One Piece world is going to be whenever they figure that out and Luffy figures out how to share that with the world. That's just a theory, though. A game theory.
I just can't wait to find out what Luffy's dream is.
It's for sure a party with everybody.
I think so too, like the giant banquet like we've talked about.
By the way, yeah, like at the end of every arc we get a mini version of Luffy's dream, right? After he's done, he wants to do what he most wants, right?
Yeah, he always wants to have a banquet. So it's like
I think it's just a giant one with everybody.
Yeah, like I see him just becoming king of the pirates and having a giant banquet because he's like, oh, I think it'll be easy when I'm king of the pirates.
Bro, we have so much left in the story. So much left. There's how does Oda do this in 5 years? They all have to be mini arcs. They can't be Wanos. We can't get any more Wanos.
Elbaf will probably be 2 years, and then the last three will be whatever he ends it with.
I low key don't want. I want Elbaf to be like Zoe. A perfect.
I don't want
Up.
this to end. That's my thing.
I don't think anybody does.
I'm like, at this point in my life, this shit could have gone off, man. You know?
Bro. Okay, for real, last thing. And you said this before to me at the gym like years ago, and I've just kept it as headcanon. What if Oda knows everything about the real world, and he knows the world is going to end at a certain date, and that's going to be like a week after? A week after One Piece ends.
I mean, my thing is with Oda and his writing is Oda knows everything. Like, and it's not even on some like he's a super genius type shit. It's just the man has to be some type of historian. Like he has to have some type of love and passion for history because and conspiracy theories because a lot of the things that he's talked about is things from real life. Like
Yeah.
and I know we're like obvious, but even down to like slavery or pyramids or aliens, different races. Avoid century actually happened in real history.
I believe that too. I believe that wholeheartedly. Well, we know that because the Library of Alexandria got burned to a crisp.
Exactly, and even then, there's also the pyramid. I believe it's Giza. I could be wrong. Don't quote me too much on this, but there is a lost library that's underneath one of the pyramids that contains all the history of the world, which sounds like O'Hara. And there's also the Antarctica theory, where Hollow Earth. Like, there's just so much.
Bro, that's a rabbit hole. We're not getting into Antarctica at least today. We're not doing that. Maybe when we get to Mary Jolis. But I know what you're talking about, and we're not getting into that one.
It just goes so far into like
the extended Earth. That's all I'm gonna say. The extended Earth.
And even then, like the 11 countries that are outside of ice. The 11 countries,
which is Nordic mythology. So,
which is also this whole void century Marines thing with the kingdoms that were once together. It's like, bro, like Oda has to have looked at all these conspiracies, all these historical facts, and just been like, yo, like here, like there's too much medicine in the food that I'm like, bro, like this man knows so much. He literally was able to write. What was it, Kuma? What was that backstory that he had where it was like, oh, this man is like 5,000 years in the future, and then the date was literally the date that he dropped the chapter, and it was like,
yes,
how
bro, he did. Remember, like it was 500 years, right? And then like they did the date, and 500 years from that point in One Piece was like the exact date that the chapter dropped.
Yeah, and it was like, bro, how did you do this? How, bro? There's not enough planning, not enough, bro. Because you took too many breaks. How did you think this far ahead to be like, oh, I always got to keep this date? Like, wild, bro. Like Oda's writing to me is just insane.
Well, he did it right. He wrote the ending first, mapped out how his story was gonna go, and just filled in the blanks. So if he tails off on something, it gets to another thing, but it always ends at that point. There's always a pinpoint on the like planner for him. I have to hit this. But with that being said, I don't, because we could just talk about this for hours. I'm gonna close it off there. We will see you next week. I will be with Elliot every week. We might have extra people, we might not. But Elliot, do you have anything to say to the people before we close out?
I'm gonna be king of the world.
Bunch of mudfuckers.